All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. So you guessed it, we're back on the old Pontiac a little more. I spent a night out here just tidying up some stuff. I got the back brake line done on the differential there. I could show you guys that quick, but it's no big deal. Got the mount done on the end. I went ahead and got the distribution block and the hose and the lines out to the do have to put some clamps on this here to get this mounted, but we're looking pretty good. And yeah, just a few other things. I did some more clamps, just all these little things that take time and I have to do. So the plan for today is I got to peel the exhaust out of there because I got to weld it all up. It'll take a little while, but get it out of there because I also want to go ahead and
run the battery cables.
So we got some fittings here and then some battery cables. So this stuff's off Amazon. It'll be pretty good, I think. Nice little kit, kind of, anyways. But anyways, that's the plan. So let me get this exhaust heaved out of here. I won't bore you guys with that a bunch, but we'll get that peeled out of there, get ready to weld it up, and then we'll start running some battery cables. All right, everyone. So I got this exhaust yanked out of here. I'll show you guys that because it looks pretty tough. So anyways, there's the system. We'll get that a lot of welding to do, but that's okay. We'll get that baby welded up and we'll get it back in there, and it'll look tough. I'm just curious how it's going to sound. I know I put a 3-inch exhaust on that old dually, and it with the same mufflers, and it's got a real crackle to it. So we'll see. I think only worst case scenario, I think this is going to be too loud, but we'll see. Be tough. Anyways, I got all my hardware gathered up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the engine, get them terminated. Also too, because I don't have grommets to go through the floor in the back, so I'll have to get some of them. But I'm going to start at the engine, get them terminated, and then we'll work our way back. Going along the frame here. We'll see. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. It'll look pretty good, and we'll go along the frame there and get them all clamped down so it's nice and secure, and we'll be cooking. So first things first, I'll get these. I got the 2 terminals I want to use picked out here. I'll get them onto the end of the cable, and I'm going to solder them, of course. We'll solder them babies on there, and I'll get them terminated, like I said, to the engine, and we'll start shooting back and see where they go, see where it takes us. All right, so I went ahead, and you can see I just went ahead and stripped it back. The thickness of the thing. These ones have a hole in the end. If they don't, what I like to do is I like to put it in the vise or something, fill it with the solder, and then just dip the thing in. But in this case, it won't work. So this particular case, I'm just going to heat this baby up. I got to do it with my left hand, and we'll just fill it with solder like this. I think my little torch is running low, but enough to get this one. Just feed it in there till you see it come out somewhere, and you know you're full. It's full. There we go. Let that harden up a bit. We can go ahead and get this one ready too. That's all I did. And then try not to cut the wires too badly. There. Then we'll go ahead and there. We'll go ahead and do the same with this one. All right, so I got these babies kind of just strung in there, and I did hook them up to the starter, and I grounded the ground to the frame. I do have to make a ground to the frame as well. That's one thing I have learned with the few LSs that I have done is you got to ground everything. Ground your chassis, ground your body, just ground everything. These things I've had them not run, something weird, acting weird, stall, weird ground things. Anyways. And then got to keep it away from the exhaust and stuff. So here's what I got going on. So I'm going to double clamp with, that's what I'm going to do along the whole frame just to keep it tidy, is one Show you guys 1 screw in the middle and 2 clamps. So that's the plan. That's the plan for now. And this will keep me, I got to go over across here, around here. I just got to make sure I'm not rubbing. I'll get something so I don't rub. I'll anchor that so I don't rub. And then I'll go back to the inside of the frame. And what that does is it gets me around this exhaust. I'll be plenty clear of that and we'll be looking good. So I'll get this lifted up and we'll get along the frame, get everything mounted up. Okay, everyone, I had to end last night. Didn't really just get a chance to finish. I needed some more, what do you call it, clamps. I need more of those clamps to hold the cables, or these little fellas. But got some of them, so I did finish up the cables underneath. I'll show you guys. Now I'm ready to poke. I got some grommets here too. Got some of these guys. So I'm ready to poke the hole through the floor so I can run the cables up through. Show you what I'm going to do. Grab my tape measure. We'll go over here. So I got the battery box and I threw a battery in it. That way I can tell where exactly I want the holes to go down through. So I'll just measure up here. We got about 2 inches to there. So if I put it at 1 inch, 1 inch by inch and 1 inch in by 1.25 inches over, that'll be good. And that'll, it is going to be tight. I mean, the battery be held, so it's no problem, but it's going to be a little tricky to hook up the cables when you're ready, but hopefully hopefully those babies get hooked up and it's good for a long time. Got the top posts if a guy has to boost it or something. We got them top posts you can hook to. You just pop the lid off, hook to them. But because these will be just a little awkward to get to, but no big deal. Hopefully hook them up and they last for lots of years. And then one day you might have to fiddle with it a bit, but it is what it is. So what did I say? Over 1 inch towards the middle and then in 1.25 inches. So I'll just flip it over, measure that on the bottom, and what I'm going to do, I'll show you guys. I'm going to drill little pilot holes. Then I'm going to put that in with the bolts where it sits. And then I'll push some pilot holes right through. And then I can drill them as big as I got to do for the grommets and stuff. But that way, that's the way I'll transfer it to the floor. But I'll show you guys that anyways. But I'll start by measuring this out and get these drilled. All right, so I got the holes there. Now I got to go figure out, I'll go measure, get my light. I have to grab it. If I don't grab it, I forget it. And then it stays on for hours and it's dead. So, but now I got to figure out what size of hole I got to make to fit these little fellas here. I'll just measure, I'll get my caliper. I'll measure the inside of the groove. And we'll make a hole. And then we'll transfer that to the floor and transfer to the battery box. And we're good. All right, everyone, let me update you where I'm at here. So I went ahead and drilled, got some grommets here. Now remember, so these grommets are going to sit on top of the other grommets kind of. But, so that trunk's going to get some dampening material, which is a little bit thick, maybe not quite as thick as that, but pretty close. And then it's going to get some carpet. So it's going to take up some of that thickness. So these won't really just, I mean, they'll mash against each other a little bit, which is okay. But those will end up sitting. I'll show you the trunk. We got us some, right here, we got us some, light on here. Yeah, there we go. So we got us a couple grommets and some cable sticking through. And we'll feed that into the box. Now, The other thing I'm going to do is, it was recommended by a viewer that I vent this box so that we don't get battery fumes. On account of this trunk is not sealed from totally sealed. It's got the seat separating it. But what I got here is I got this leftover chunk of tubing that I bent wrong. That's how come I have that. And I got this little, I dug through all my fittings there, you can see. And I got this little fella here. It's a swedge locky type guy. So the plan is to attach it to there when the time comes. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and get that into the side of the box permanently. And then we'll have it, and this will be against the inside, so you won't see it. So then go ahead and attach this. This will be like this. I'll drill another hole in the floor down here with another grommet, and then that will vent the battery box to the underneath the car. Get any kind of fumes or anything out of there. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and drill. I will drill and tap so I can thread that in there into the side of the box, but also probably I'll kind of weld it in as well. So I'll clean everything up, get that going, and I'll show you guys, and then we'll get this in there, see how it looks. My plan is to just, I'm going to make that when it comes down the edge here. Plan is to make it in line with these. Plus it'll have a little bit of flexibility. So then when I do it, I can just measure the distance over and drill and make my grommet hole. So that's the plan. So anyways, let me get that fitting cleaned up and get ready to get it stuck into the side of this box. And this will, like I said, it'll look good, but you won't see it anyways. So anyways, it'll be all good. All right, my battery went dead, but got a little charge on it, so we're back in action. So I went ahead and drilled and tapped, and I was gonna weld it, but I got to use my Joey racing product wrench. I bought these babies when I built my buggy because I got a lot of AN fittings and stuff on that. Plus I wanted something racy. I wanted a racy tool. So anyways, don't get to use them very often, but I used that baby and it went tight. So that I feel very confident that that is going to be sturdy and going to stay there. And I did cut this baby to size. Remember, this is the one I mucked up when I was doing, I believe it was transmission lines. So see if I can get this baby. So there we go. And like I said, get to use my wrench. Sorry for the wiggleness. There we go. So that's going to sit somewhere like that. Somewhere like that. And that's how that's going to look. I already did go in the car too and drill a hole and put a grommet. I'll show you guys. And the other thing I did was cut those cables. Dun, dun, dun. So you can see the grommet there, right down there. And I did cut the cables and I soldered them and I heat shrink them. So those babies are ready to rock. Those will tuck in through the bottom. So I think I'll test fit this baby and we'll see how it fits. All right, got it in there. A lot of moving parts to this baby. I had to line the cables up, but you can see I got them in there. And I had to line up the bolts, which they weren't bad, but the one in the corner was the tricky one. But we'll take a look here. Anyways, and there you go. So like I said, the seat will be here, so you won't actually see this. Too bad, because it actually looks good. So, but anyways, that's that. So we can put the lid on that and be done with that, except for, I have to pull it out later anyways to put the sound deadening mat and the rug in there. So, but yeah, super happy how that turned out. And we move on to the next thing. Okay, everyone, I got carried away doing a few other things. I did go ahead and build a ground clamp. You can kind of see there that goes from the chassis to the engine. Keep that ground going. I wanted to show you guys the cables here. So we got these strung in here. Lots of clamps everywhere. Keep that baby tidy. And we got it going up through the floor. I want to show you this too. So you can see there, I'll put my light up here. These are the bolts here and here and stuff. These are the ones that bolted down, but there you can see the vent. And that turned out pretty nice too. Just a nice little sticking through about an inch. But like I said, I got carried away doing some other stuff, so I'm about to pack it in for the evening. I'll be out here after work tomorrow for sure, and we'll get some more stuff done. But anyways, see you guys tomorrow. All right, everyone. So welcome back, back out here. So I spent all last night. It was a long day actually, but I spent that time welding up this exhaust. So you can see here, we got her all welded up. All of it there. So anyways, so all I got to do now is go ahead and I'm just going to clean them up. And this exhaust, I did that on my dually, the old dually there, the exhaust I put on it. It was a much bigger exhaust, much longer and stuff, but I painted it with, I don't think I have any left, I have to get some more, but I painted it with some, that header paint, the high heat header paint. And really happy how that turned out. And I don't know if it'll last. We'll see. It seems to be lasting, and I think it lasts better if you don't see lots of road grime and whatever, probably. But, you know, and this car won't, I'm sure. So that's the plan before I go and stick it back in here. Because I am done pretty much everything that would have been in the way for. So, but yeah, anyway, so I spent all last night doing that. And now I'm back out here. And this is the last day I got to a little bit of time here before I have to get this footage in to get it edited for the video. So the plan for today is two things. I'm going to you can see here, so this car turns incredibly sharp. Well, I guess this frame. So that's not even fully turned. You can see here it has these steer stops that when you turn it's supposed to hit. I always do that. Anyway, sorry. So it's got these steer stops. They're kind of riveted on here, 2 rivets. And then they're supposed to hit the spindle to stop it from turning. Now look at this. So this is plenty sharp already. Like this is almost too sharp the way it is there. Can't really show you guys, and I got it set here with about an inch a bit already. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is make some new plates that actually hit the spindle to stop it, because I don't want it to turn as sharp as it can, because the wheel will hit the frame. I think it hits the sway bar too. So we don't want that. We don't want to be hitting that stuff. It just turns, like I said, look how, I don't know if it does it justice, but, well, no, you can look at the wheel. Look how sharp it is, and that's limited already. And that's incredibly sharp. So that'd be directly on. Yeah, so it's not a drift car. We don't need to turn that sharp. So that'll keep it from rubbing the tires, rubbing the frame, hitting some stuff. So that's the plan. So I'm going to build some new plates. We'll do that. And the other thing I'm going to try to do just to tidy it up, to finish it up, is I mentioned this. I got my brake line done for the back here. I'm going to build some tabs to permanently get that mounted up. And I'll put another tab here to hold that real nice and tidy. Happy how that turned out. But that's the plan for this, to kind of finish up here, is do these couple jobs. And we're slowly getting this car done. I think I'm gonna start with that differential. I'll make little tabs too. They're gonna be dead simple, just some little flat bars that bolt to the diff cover, and then I'll bolt use the little stainless button top things, and I'll bolt a clamp to hold that. So pretty simple, but I'll get started on that. This is my plan. So I got some of this little flat bar, and I went ahead and cut out 3 little tabs. And so this is the bolt out of the diff cover. I am going to replace them. I do have to pull that cover off and clean it and change the oil and do all that kind of stuff, make sure it's all good. But then I'm going to replace it with these little button head fellas anyway. So then that'll look good. And then the other thing I'm going to do too. So now I went ahead and drilled. You get the gist. There's the little clamps. But I drilled and tapped the top. That's plenty thick enough for these little guys. And then we'll just bolt that little guy down there like that. So I'll go ahead and get these installed, and I'll show you what they look like. Again, I'm not going to bother painting them right now, because I said I do have to pull that apart. So I'll just install them for now, make sure I like how it looks. I also do think I have a bit of a bent axle. I noticed when I was doing the park brake and the cable and stuff, I noticed that one axle's wobbling a bit. So, well, I do definitely have a bent axle. So I have to take it apart for that also, change that axle. But like I said, also to make sure it's got clean, fresh oil, everything's good in there, and we'll make sure it's tippy top, and then we'll make sure this is good. So, but I will go ahead and button these in for now and show you guys kind of what the idea is, what they'll look like. So you can see the cover's got notches already in the top and these two sides. So those are the spots I'm going to put the little clamps. All right. So here's the idea. Put them guys in. Just going to do that for now. All right. Now, put these little fellas on. All right. Do you ever see anyone struggle that much? But it's all good. We got it. Oh my gosh. But like I said, it'll be good. That's good enough for now. And then we'll get these ones cinched up. Spending more time trying to get these going in here than I did building the little brackets. Well, that's okay. And then, yeah, it'll look good once they're painted up and once I get all the little button heads. This, not that you'll ever see it either, but you'll know it. You'll know it's nice in your mind. All right, that's about it. So that's the gist of it. I think it looks pretty good. Again, keep in mind once they're painted up, it'll look good. This corner here is supported with the T, so that supports that. That's plenty of support. What I'm going to do too is just over here the same way, but with just a clamp, I'll just attach to there. So I'll do that quick, and then this is done. Then it's all. This is probably sturdy enough, but it'll just be better. So go ahead and do that, and we'll get that in there, and then we'll move on to those steer stops. So let me do this quick, and and then I'll catch up with you guys on the front end there, and we'll make that work. That's essentially all I did, was just put in a little one there just to hold that end. But anyways, now we're off to the front, and I took this wheel off because that's where I decided the maximum I want this thing to turn. I had the wheel to look, everything, kept it away from the frame just a little bit. And this is going to be good. This car doesn't need to turn that sharp. It's like I said, it's not a drift car. It's not like it needs to turn that sharp. So this is not going to hurt anything. This is just going to limit a little bit, just to keep it out of the junk and keep it a little nicer. So all I got to do essentially is I'm going to grind these rivet heads off. We'll remove this plate, 1/4-inch plate. We'll just make a new one. We'll just make a new one a little bigger that can hit this and just limit that baby. So I'll go dig up some plate here quick, and I'll go ahead and grind the heads off of here, and hopefully they're not too much grief to get out of there, and we'll be in business. Okay, so I paused the camera and then forgot to push record again, but basically all I did was I ground the heads off, and I had trouble whapping them out. So I got my big pliers and I just pried it till it came loose, and then obviously it was super easy to whack them out of there. So I'll go ahead and get some cardboard, and we'll make a template of what I want it to be like, mark them holes and stuff, and then I'll just go ahead and paint this up so that it starts out nice anyways. And I'm just gonna bolt the plate on that hits there, we'll just bolt it on real good and it should be good. I mean, I always shouldn't be too much force on that anyways. Just once you feel that resistance, you're not going to keep, right? That's the plan anyways. But yeah, so I'll start by getting a little bit of cardboard and we'll make a little template. I'm going to have to bend it a little or something. But I think 1/4 inch, I think just in my vise. I'll just try hammer it in my vise, see what happens. And we'll go from there. All right, so here's what I got. Little chunk of cardboard. I kind of just marked the holes and stuff. And I did check. The holes are opposite on the other side. So you can just flip it. So I'm going to make 2 off the same one. And then I'll just have to bend it the other way. So anyways. So yeah, so that lines up pretty good. I'm going to actually, looking at it now. I am going to just massage the top a little bit here, just to make it a little cleaner. Yeah, somewhere to there. Yeah, I think I'll essentially just end up, yeah, I'm going to cut that straight off. But anyways, like how it fits, it'll all be decided in the bend there. And then what I'll do is I'll just leave it a smidge long. And then if I have to, I can just grind this down to get it where I want. But it's not, I'm just made a decision anyways. It's not like it's some magic number. I just made a decision how sharp I want it to turn, and that's what I'm going with. So if it's out by a whatever, or if it's different from my original plan by an 1/8 of an inch or something, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's just something I decided anyway. So anyways, I did go look. I got a little chunk of 1/4 inch there. We'll go trace this out, cut out a piece, and see if we can put it in the vise and hammer a little bend into it. Probably take a couple. That's not so bad. That's not much of a bend. So that's okay. But either way, it'll take a couple little trips to the vise to get it just right. And then we'll be cooking. So get this traced out here. Okay, everyone, I got these babies whipped up. So I did go ahead and make another one. Now you can see here, that's what I got. I went ahead and painted it. Now to bend that, I just basically put it in my vise over there, and then just beat the bejeebers out of it to bend it. It wasn't too bad. I didn't need much more bend than that, so it's okay. If I did need more bend, I would have had what I would have done is I would have relief cut it, got the bend, and then welded it back up. But I didn't have to. That's plenty enough bend. I did go ahead and stick this one on here, so you can see I got it there. And yeah, so basically it just hits the spindle now, and just like I said, just limits it from turning. So yeah, so that's yeah, happy with them. That's successful. Oh, I want to show you guys another thing too. I did have a can of this stuff. I'll show you guys. So what I used is this stuff here. So it's like header paint and stuff. That's what it's called, actually, header paint. But anyways, it's supposed to be durable to the heat. Anyways, I went ahead and painted up the front portion. I'll have to get more of that paint to finish it up, but there you go. So that's the idea. I left these two because it'll tuck into my X pipe, and then what I'll probably do to make it removable, I'll tack it a bit, and then I'll put a band clamp on them. That way, if you have to, you can, if you have to pull the exhaust or something, you can do that. But yeah, so I got to finish cleaning up these back halves and paint them up, and then we can get that in, and it's coming along. But like I said, that's it for this video. So I'm gonna clean up, kind of get everything ready. I got to change some oil on some cars and stuff, just do some maintenance, and then we'll be back at it. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.